names that you always hear in the Western movies. Bat Masterson, the Earp brothers, they used to go down to the stockyards to gamble. So this was like walking through history. That was so cool. I enjoyed Fort Worth, but then I decided to come back to Chicago, and that's when I started Project Psi.
Well, I know that Project Psi has been around for a few years, and that you have had really terrific, probably unexpectedly so, success with that. And
exactly, yeah.
You know, I think that it's surprising only because very few people realize the potential with that. But you actually were an active paranormal investigator for so long that you already had a feel for this, and I'm sure that you were exposed to the energies and stuff. And are you psychic? Are you a medium or psychic yourself?
I'm, for lack of a better word, yeah, I guess I am. I wasn't aware of it till I got to Texas. I always just, when I would do EVPs, because the big thing for me was EVPs, because that was personal contact with the spirit. And when I was doing EVPs, and I first realized it when I was getting an EVP of JF Kennedy out in Dealey Plaza, I realized I'm hearing his answers. I'm used to recording what I get, going back to the computer, running it through, processing it. But when I was standing there in the middle of Dealey Plaza at 4 o'clock in the morning talking to JFK, I realized I'm hearing his answers before I'm listening to the recording. And that was the first time I realized that, yeah, to some degree I'm gifted. But before that, I always thought everything was a coincidence. But yeah, I've been ghost hunting. This year marks 50 years that I've been ghost hunting, and I've taken it pretty deep. There's a lot of things that I started with forensic EVPs, and I invented an underwater robotic, and that was because when you'd always read about ships going down and so many souls were lost. I wanted to communicate with these souls. Yeah. And I wanted to connect with these souls. So I was going to get certified scuba, but then, I don't know, it was a bad year for sharks, and I thought, maybe I don't want to go scuba diving just yet. And so I went and built this underwater robotic. Actually, if you go to YouTube, there's hundreds of videos on how to build an underwater robotic. It's in a lot of engineering classes in high schools. They build them all the time. So I just built the underwater robotic and then added a video camera and two-way audio so I could get EVPs. And so I used I called it Neptune. I used Neptune in a lot of different locations. It went down 65 feet. And I got amazing EVPs. You got to remember, sound travels 5 times farther underwater than it does through air. That's why sonar is used to find submarines, because sound travels so well. So I went and built Neptune, and I have underwater EVPs from several lakes in Illinois, Missouri, and Wisconsin and Texas. And it was a lot of fun. So EVPs were my big thing for years. And then I decided I wanted to prove the existence of the afterlife, and that's why I created Project Psi. I was hoping to come up with, I wanted to design the Dewey Decimal System for the afterlife and really have definitive evidence. And over the years, the past couple of years, I have to say without a doubt, we've proven it. And the whole, I spent decades searching for that perfect trichotomy between spirituality, science, and the afterlife. Not just where they coexist, but where they complete each other.
Absolutely.
And with Project Psi.
I was just going to say that I'm going to have to interrupt you for just about 3 minutes, okay? And we've got a little got a little ads to run, and we will be right back. And everyone, I know y'all are having as much fun as I am, so hang with us. We will be back in 3 minutes.
You are listening to WPHM Digital Broadcasting, the best in paranormal talk radio.
Since 1948, Fate magazine has brought you reports of the strange and unknown, all of them true. Fate Radio is carrying on that tradition, bringing you the unusual, macabre, strange, and bizarre. Join host Kat Hobson Sunday nights from 8 to 10 p.m. Eastern on WBHM Digital Broadcasting.
Thank you for listening to WBHM Digital Broadcasting out of Birmingham, Alabama. The time is 23 minutes after the hour. And we are back. You're listening to Paranormal Experienced. I'm Kat, your host, with my guest, Dr. Chuck Kennedy. We have been talking so far about areas I had no idea were truly haunted, like Branson, Missouri. I don't know why I didn't know that, but...
You know, I guess when you get down to it, everywhere is haunted. You just have to look for it.
Yeah. I just, I don't know. I have been to places that looked like they were pure as the driven snow. You'd never think anything was going on, and then all of a sudden, boom, there's a ghost.
When you stop and think about it, it really is a spirit world. Mm-hmm. We just live in it.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
And that's what it boils down to. Everywhere is haunted. You have to look for it and treat the spirits with respect. And that's why I started Project Psi. The side effect of Project Psi that I didn't expect. I had always wanted to see what's going on in the brain of a medium, because I decided the best way to prove the existence of the afterlife is through mediumship. And I wanted to get a functional MRI and actually watch what was going on in a medium's brain while they're communicating with a spirit. but nobody would loan me $1.7 million, and plus my building wouldn't hold a 3-ton magnet. So I figured I got to go to a plan B. And plan B was, how do they look at brains? How did we see inside brains for more than 100 years without things like PET scans, CAT scans, MRIs? And that was using an EEG.
Mm-hmm.
Well, thanks to eBay, I was able to get an EEG machine. And
did you really get it off eBay?
Oh, yeah. And I really did. And it came with Chinese instructions.
You go. That's
and
awesome.
No software. No, all the instructions were in Chinese. I'm assuming they were Chinese. I couldn't read them. So, and I knew they weren't English, that's for sure. And I got the thing and did a little hunting on the internet and downloaded some software. And I'm a neuroscientist by trade. I spent 40 years in healthcare. I'm a registered nurse, and my PhD is in neuroscience. So I had a pretty solid understanding how EEGs worked. I had used them before. And this is a 16-lead EEG machine. And I hooked it up, downloaded the software, and presto, I'm getting tracings on my computer screen. And I'm going, wow, this is cool. This is way cool. And at the time, I was living down in Fort Worth, Texas. And Fort Worth, the whole DFW area is a very spiritual area. They have psychic fairs every month. So they're loaded with psychics down there. So it was easy to connect and get some psychics as test subjects and start checking their brain. And then I put together a system of baseline questions, because the skeptics will sit there and claim, well, when a psychic does a reading, what they're really seeing are memories. They're seeing imagination. They're seeing all these other things, delusions and hallucinations. So I created a system of baseline questions. I'd ask, what's 238 plus 746? And I can see their frontal cortex working to try to figure that out. And they give me some answer, and I have no clue. I don't know what the right answer is. I don't care. I wanted to see their process. I didn't have a calculator. I go, oh, that's very good, and I never tell them whether they're right or right. And a lot of people ask, I've tested over 700 psychics, and I'll sit there and ask them a question like that, and they go, is that right? I go, I don't know. So after a while, they get mad at me when I say, oh, I don't know. So I always go, oh, yeah, that sounds about right. But this way I would see the process, and I could see their logic and their frontal cortex is working. And I know they have good, sound logic. And then I'll ask, in 10 words or less, give me a childhood memory. And they'll say something like, well, my 5th birthday party. And I can see the hippocampus and the amygdala kick in, and I can see they're accessing memory. And I know, okay, their memory area is right here, and it's functioning fine. And then I'll say something like, in 10 words or less, tell me a lie, any lie. And they go, oh, Dr. Chuck, you're so handsome. And I know they're lying. So I can see their right cingulate gyrus kick in, and I know their imagination is working fine. And I'll ask for, tell me an emotional event in your life. Tell me about that event. And they may talk about the birth of a child, the death of a parent, or a marriage, or in some cases a divorce. And I can see their limbic system light up where their emotions are very active. And then I tell them, okay, now take a deep breath. Breathe in through your nose, out through your mouth. Relax, nice and easy. Now, if they were connecting with the spirit, I would ask them, connect with the spirit. The place that I live has 3 spirits living here. So I tell them, connect with the spirit that's here in the building, and they'll connect. Or if it's a remote viewing case, I'll have them remote view the missing child or the murder. And when they kick in and they start doing their psychic activity, the frontal cortex is quiet. The cingulate gyrus is quiet. Their hippocampus is quiet. So they're not imagining